In this video, I'll teach you how to solve linear equations. First of all, what are linear equations? The linear equations are the equations of the form ax plus b equals 0, where a shouldn't be equal to 0. That's the only condition. Okay. Now we're going to see how we can solve such an equation. First of all, what do you mean by solving an equation? Okay, solving means you're finding the value of x for which the left hand side equals the right hand side. Okay, so if you find a value for x into this equation, this makes the left hand side and right hand side equal. So let's begin with a simple example. 3x minus 15 equals 0. So this is a linear equation that you're going to solve. So you're finding the solution, or sometimes we call it as a root. So the root or the solution is the value of the unknown, that's x, which satisfies this equation. That means when you substitute the value of x into this equation, the left hand side equals right hand side. The right hand side is 0. So that means when you substitute the value of x in here, this makes the left hand side also equal to 0. There are many different operations that can be used to solve such a linear equations. They are adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing some quantity on both sides. Okay, so that means you can add 15 on both sides. So that wouldn't change the equation because you're doing the operation, they're adding on both sides the same quantity. Or you can divide, you can subtract. So all the things you can do, or you can flip the sides, or you can even take functions on both sides. For example, you can square this side and square this side. Whatever you do, there's only one thing you have to be really careful. Whatever you do on one side of the equation, you must do on the other side as well. So if you're taking this particular example, it's not a good logic to divide something on both sides, or multiplying on both sides, or flipping. So those kind of operations doesn't make any sense in here. What we are actually looking for is to isolate this x and make x the subject of the equation, or make x on the left hand side of the equation. That's all we are trying to do. So the first step in doing that is to get rid of this 15 minus 15 on the left side. This is subtracted on this left side. So what I would try to do is I would add 15 onto this side. The same thing I should do on the other side as well. Okay, so that wouldn't change anything of the equation. Okay, so this makes minus 15 plus 15 equals 0. So this is 3x equals 15. Now, what should I do next? Now there's a 3 multiplied in here. So if I divide this side of the equation with 3, this will remove this 3. So the problem here is you can't only divide on one side, you should do the same on the other side as well. Okay, so that's how the equation is balanced now. So the 3 will be cancelled, and 15 on 3 is actually 5. So that makes x equals 5. That's the solution or root of the equation. So the root or solution of the equation is the unknown value which satisfies this equation. Now if I substitute back into this equation, 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus 15 equals 0, which is a solution of x for this particular equation. This is a very simple example in here. I'll show you some more examples. Okay, this is another equation I'm going to solve now. 3x minus 4 equals 2x plus 6. Okay, so what we're going to do is finding the value of x, or making x the subject of the equation. Okay, so for that, I would subtract 2x on both sides. So that way the 2x will be disappearing from the right hand side of the equation. So let me do that first. 3x minus 4 and subtracting 2x on this side, and 2x plus 6 minus 2x. The 2x and minus 2x add to give 0. So that disappears. And so this side now becomes 3x minus 2x. Yeah, so 3x minus 2x, that's basically the collecting items and subtracting. So when you're subtracting only the coefficients. So it's 3 minus 2 is 1x minus 4 equals 6. Now the next aim is to get rid of this minus 4. To get rid of minus 4, you should add 4 on both sides. Okay, so x minus 4 plus 4. Okay, so that will make this 4 disappear from the left side. So it should do the same operation on the other side. 6 plus 4. Okay, so that makes x, this is 0, equals 10. So that's a solution of this equation. So you can make, you can substitute. So you can substitute this 10 into this equation, and then, so 3 times 10 is 30. 30 minus 4 is actually 26. That's the left hand side. And substitute 10 on this side. So 2 times 10 is 20. 20 plus 6 is 26. So the left hand side equals right hand side. So this is exactly the solution or root of this equation. Let's do one more question. 6 on 1 minus 2x equals 7 on x minus 2. So this one, x is in the denominator. So we need to somehow make it in the numerator, or we need to get rid of the fractions. Yeah, the two ways to do this actually. So one way is to multiply the whole equation by the LCM straight away. So it's a 1 minus 2x times x minus 2. That's the least common multiplier. So you can do that. Or what you can do is you can flip both sides, which you can do. That's what I'm going to do in here. So I'm flipping both sides, which makes 1 minus 2x on 6 equals x minus 2 on 7. Okay, now you need to multiply the whole equation by the LCM. So the LCM in here is 6 times 7 is 42. So we're going to multiply the both sides of the equation with 42. So x minus 2 on 7 times 42. So you can cancel out the terms. 6, 7. So this is 7, 6. Okay. So now this equation becomes 7 times 1 minus 2x. Don't put it as 1 minus 2x times 7 in here. You need to put the brackets in here, and equals x minus 2 into 6, or 6 times x minus 2. Okay. So again, this is not exactly in the form of a linear equation. You need to get rid of the brackets and do the rearranging terms, etc. So that's what we're going to do in here. Get rid of the bracket in here. 7 times 1 is 7, minus 7 times 2 is 14, x equals 6 times x is 6x minus 12. And now bring the 6x to this side and 7 to that side. So I'm going to do that two things in one step. To get rid of 6x on both sides, so you need to subtract 6x on both sides. 7 minus 14x minus 6x, and that equals 6x minus 12 minus 6x. And another thing is we need to get rid of this 7 on this side, that by subtracting 7 on this side. So it's a minus 7, and you should do minus 7 on that side as well. Okay, now 7 and 7 cancels out to give you 0. 7 minus 7 is 0. So minus 14x minus 6x is minus 20 by adding the coefficients, minus 20x. And that equals 6x and 6 minus 6x goes away, it's 0. Minus 12 minus 7 is minus 19. So the x is now x is obtained by dividing minus 20 on both sides. Okay, so this divided by minus 20 and this divided by minus 20. So this makes this side equals x equals minus 19 and minus 20. The negative sign goes away. So this is 19 on 20. Okay, so that's the answer for this one. So you can double check that by substituting this value of the equation into this equation and making and confirming that left hand side equals right hand side. So in summary, what we have done is we try to isolate x. For that we have to sometimes add, subtract, or divide or multiply some terms. But whatever you do, you should do on both sides. Or sometimes you can even flip the sides. Or you can take the function on both sides. You can square both sides, take the cube root on both sides. Whatever you do, you should do on two sides. Okay.